Hey guys, and welcome to another episode of UA Eats. I'm UA, and I am back in New York City on the hunt for a great Jewish deli. I just happened to be in the city, getting a annual dental checkup. But for some reason, dental appointments really work up an appetite for me. And when I'm hungry, what I really want is a nice hot pastrami sandwich. Now, we've eaten lots of places on this channel. We've even gone outside of New York, such as California, and even outside of the country in Montreal for some pastrami sandwiches, or in Canada called smoked meat sandwiches. Here in New York though, I would say Katz's Deli is widely regarded as king of New York when it comes to best pastrami sandwich in the Big Apple, including by yours truly. Though, of course, Katz's Deli is so hyped up now that some people think it's overhyped, some people think it's a tourist trap, and at the very least, some people think that it's not worth the crazy wait. Now, I'm not one of those people. I think Katz's Deli is indeed pretty good, although, I do think the price is a bit high, and the line and the waiting, as good as it is for a sandwich end of the day, yeah, I guess it's a little bit overhyped, but I don't think it's overrated. I do think Katz's is very good. The place that's mentioned most amongst people who claim that Katz's is not all that is the place behind me, 2nd Avenue Deli. Now, amongst pastrami fans, people who say Katz's is not the best, a lot of people say 2nd Avenue Deli is the place to go. They say this place is as good as Katz's, if not better, and without any of the lines. We'll have to see about that. I mean, Katz's Deli, hyped up as it is, tourist destination as it is with its crazy lines, it is still objectively a very good sandwich, regardless of what you may say about the hype or the price. But if people are saying places like 2nd Avenue Deli top Katz's and are better, then, I gotta try that. So, I'm in New York, so let's check it out.
Next, please. Anybody next one to go?
Okay guys, so we are seated at 2nd Avenue Deli. No wait, unlike Katz's Deli, you just walk right in here. I'm not sure if it's more crowded during more peak time, but the difference between here and Katz's Deli is that at Katz's Deli, unless you go once they open and for breakfast, I'm not against pastrami for breakfast, but maybe I'm not most people. But here, I just walked right in. Unfortunately, there wasn't really any seating left, but they were able to get me a nice seat at the bar here. There is bar seating here, right facing the kitchen, so not a bad deal. Let's take a look at the menu though. I'll just do a pastrami sandwich.
Pastrami, perfect.
And Mozball Soup.
You got it. Anything to drink?
Can I hold on to this?
Yeah, of course. Do you want anything to drink?
Yeah, I'll do a Dr. Brown soda.
Dr. Cream soda.
Yes, thank you. So yeah, here at the bar, pretty simple setup, but it's nice that we have a view of the kitchen right in front of us. Some very delicious looking, oh, thank you so much. Some very delicious looking black and white cookies. A staple here in New York, always hit the spot for me. Simple, yet beautiful in their simplicity. And you got a nice view of the kitchen. A little bit obstructed over there, but yeah, nice view, yep. So I ordered earlier and they brought me my soda, my cream soda, but I just want to show you the menu real quick. So this will be my first time here. I kind of already knew what I wanted, but I figured I would just show you guys what they have anyways. Because regardless, I was going to try the pastrami, and it's a cold day, so I want to get a Mozball Soup to warm up as well. But as you can see, while this place may not have the hype of Katz's Deli, the prices are relatively similar, 26 to 28 bucks. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you. Look at that. Similar to Katz's, they give you some slices here, or I don't know if they just did that for me, but nice that they kind of give you some of the excess trimmings to nibble on. Anyways, the food is coming fast and furious, so I'll just fly through the rest of this. Just take a look. They have some 3-decker sandwiches here. They have some big sandwiches that I hear Carnegie Deli was famous for, although these are quite expensive. You kind of get what you pay for here. You're definitely paying for that extra volume. But these are relatively similar to the sandwiches above, they're just bigger. And then they have some interesting items as well, like a instant heart attack. I guess this is supposed to be not particularly healthy. They have tenderloin steak in the entree section, very, very interesting. And then this side looks like a lot of Jewish deli options, as well as some Eastern European options like stuffed cabbage, knishes, and the like. And yeah, this all looks interesting too, but we already knew what we wanted and we ordered already. Let's dig right in. Now this is the Mozball Soup, and it's looking pretty good. I mean, just look at how clear this broth is. Ooh, whoa, this broth is so clear that I thought this was the bottom, but the bottom is actually on top. Look at that. It's like an infinity pool, but like the opposite. Just look at this. Oh my goodness, just look at this white and completely pure piece of matzo ball. Just look at that. Oh my goodness. Does that not look delicious or not? And it comes with some noodles, not just soup, and some carrots, you know, some root vegetables. But other than that, not too much else. Otherwise, looking like a pretty traditional matzo ball soup in that it being like a very pure, light chicken soup. We can't wait for this to cool down. Let's eat it while it's piping hot. Wow, just look at this clear broth. It's clear like tap water that hasn't been filtered. Wow. Of all the matzo ball soups I've had at all the places we went to, Sarge's, S&P, all the places we've been to, this is hands down the best. Delicious. Not only does it just visually look clear, it tastes very pure. Like, you kind of just taste like the essence of the chicken and not too much else. Not much filler, none of that, like, I don't know, like oily excess chicken fat. You really just like taste the best part of the chicken in this. Like, if you were sick, I feel like this would be the perfect way to heal, because it's just completely filled with the nutrition from the chicken and not much else. Outstanding. We obviously have to try the matzo ball that we cut off earlier, right? Oops, got some noodle on it. There you go. I hope it's not too soggy because I, you know, amputated it from the rest of the meatball, or the matzo ball.
Okay, what kind of pickle do you like?
Wow. It was indeed soggy because, like, you know, I reduced its surface area and I let it absorb more of the broth, but I don't care. Like, it just soaked up that chicken broth and it just tasted so incredible. Oh my goodness. Absolutely delicious. Like, it's pure and light matzo ball. Not too chewy, not so light like I'm eating like styrofoam. It's like the perfect texture, like kind of like the way sifted flour is supposed to taste. Like back in the day, white bread was for rich folks, people who could pay people to sift the flour and separate the starch to the top and discard all the wheat bread stuff. Nowadays it's kind of the opposite. Like, you know, hoitier folk like to eat wheat bread because they're like, oh, it's healthier and it's trendier. But no, back then, white bread was how you showed you were a boss. And I feel like a boss eating this. Like a really pure starch in matzo form and now in ball form. Outstanding. Let's try some of the noodles. Okay, the noodles are only okay. To be honest, the noodles kind of just taste like normal noodles, you know, like normal noodles that you can get from the grocery store. And the noodles are actually a little bit, you know, they're not exactly al dente. They're a little overcooked, I think, and a little bit mushy. So not a super pleasant texture and not really much taste, like even less taste than plain pasta tends to have. I guess let's try one of the carrots, even though I'm sure it's just a carrot, right? I mean, it looks like a fresh carrot, but I mean, carrots are just carrots in my opinion. Should I pretend this is so delicious like most food vloggers do? Whoa! Nah, just kidding. I mean, like I was saying, it's just a normal carrot. Nothing wrong with that because, you know, this is a really nutritious soup. A beautiful in its simplicity soup, a very pure soup. Like, they go well, you know, they basically are just a good change of pace. I guess, you know, if I'm gonna be nitpicky, it would be nice if they had like seasoned them maybe a little bit, you know, just to give them a little bit of flavor, but it's okay. I mean, they're healthy and I'm okay with that. Very, very good. All right, let's wait for our pastrami sandwich. Oh, actually, I don't have to just sit and wait because they slice some of the fresh pastrami for me. So let's just nibble some of these with our fingers, why don't we? And just looking at it, it's already looking very super paper thin. Really reminds me of the Italian beef sandwich in Chicago, how paper thin it is. Love the color on it, and I love the even bark all across. So let's try it. You know, because I ate the Mozball Soup first, which I think I was right to prioritize, this has gotten a little cold, so I think that really impacted its flavor. And, you know, besides texture, heat is actually really important to food. But if we ignore the coldness of it, it is very soft. It comes apart pretty easily in your mouth. I really like the color on it, and I like the even bark all the way across on both sides. Ooh, and the rest of the sandwich is here. Thank you, perfect timing. When I was just complaining about it not being the right temperature, and now I get a fresh one right away. But yeah, last thing I want to say is just that I like the color. I like that I taste that spicy bark all the way across. I do think it's missing like a bit of a oomph that I've had at other places like Katz's and Langer's. I feel like this pastrami is a little bit leaner than some other places I've been to, like those two elite joints. I think due to that leanness, that's probably why they have to slice it so thin. Like Katz's famously has thicker cut pastrami, probably because of the fattiness and natural leanness of their meat. But maybe the temperature does play a big role. And now we have our full 2nd Avenue Deli sandwich, and one that's not cold. And does that not look like a thing of beauty? How delicious does this look? Is this good enough for a thumbnail picture? Maybe this is good enough for a thumbnail picture. But just look how delicious this sandwich looks. I mean, I just love this color. It's got a great deep color that I love, and I love the natural bark, as mentioned, on all sides. This one almost looks a little different from the pieces they gave me. Like, this one almost looks a little bit crispier than those, while these look less crispy and more soft. And similar to another joint, Sarge's, it looks like they don't mustard it for you, but they do have mustard on the side here if you choose to apply it. But we're going to take a bite first without mustard.
That's reputable.
But even though it is not thick cut, it does look delicious, does it not? Like just layers and layers of delicious pastrami. Remember what a great man once said? Shrek to Donkey. Ogres are like pastrami. They have layers. That's the quote, right? I kind of remember it that way. But yeah, let's just try this delicious and warm looking 2nd Avenue Deli pastrami sandwich. Rival the Katz's, maybe even better.
Thank you so much.
Pleasure.
Wonderful.
May you have many years of health and happiness.
And same for you. Thank you so much. Happy Thanksgiving.
Oh wow. Oh wow, that is outstanding.
Put my name on my
Oh man. Oh, that is so good. Oh, what, corned beef? Thank you so much. Wow, they brought me some complimentary corned beef. So friendly of them. And it looks pretty good. That's a mean looking corned beef. This is an excellent sandwich. This is definitely one of the best pastrami sandwiches I've ever had. I'm being serious. I realize the gravity of that statement as well. I mean, it's not thick cut like Katz's. It's thin cut, which is, you know, like the typical thin cut pastrami sandwich, but every layer is just fatty and juicy and delicious and filled with that spice bark flavor. And you know how I complained about those pieces they gave me as being too lean? Definitely not lean. Look at these other pieces. I guess they just cut off some excess. I mean, this is some fatty pastrami. In my opinion, lean and pastrami does not really mix. It's got to be a little fatty, at least a little bit. Okay, so it doesn't quite come apart like Katz's does. Katz's like almost melts in your mouth. This one has more of a chew, and that makes sense, you know, why they would cut it so thinly and stack it, as opposed to cutting thicker slices. This one does not quite come apart. See, look, I grab it and it is a little bit rubbery there. Like it doesn't quite melt in your mouth, but that's okay. I mean, chewing can be fun, and when you chew, it really lets you savor meat in a different way. Excellent. I mean, what the sandwich may lack in tenderness, it more than makes up for it in flavor. Outstanding. Let's not make the mistake we made with the pastrami pieces though. Let's try some of the complimentary corned beef that they were so kind to let us try.
Benny berries.
Wow, this is some yummy looking corned beef. Just look at that. This is already looking like some of the best corned beef I've ever seen or tasted. You know, interestingly enough, the corned beef is actually more tender than the pastrami, but I think that's just coincidental. I think it's just, you know, with their pieces of what I assume to be brisket meat, it's probably just luck of the draw for which cuts are being used in which sandwich and which ones are just naturally more tender and more tough. But this is an excellent corned beef. It's got that great brine flavor, really yummy, really like it, and I would say this is among the top corned beefs I have had. Well, Katz's has a mean corned beef as well. I would say this is up there with Katz's. It's pretty similar, but similar to the difference between these two places, it really is just thin cut versus thick cut. So if you want a thicker cut corned beef, go to Katz's. If you want a thinner cut corned beef, you know, come here. I think for me personally, I mean, this is 100% just my preference. I generally prefer pastrami to corned beef because, you know, I just like the spice rub on pastrami. Like, I like the process of making pastrami, just like I like the flavor, I like the yummy bark. To me, pastrami also tends to just taste fattier. I don't know why, maybe at least just to me. But if you like corned beef, you know, you're not gonna be disappointed by this.
I'm just gonna taste.
Absolutely excellent. So tasty, and so far I am liking everything I'm eating. Wow. Okay, let's knock out more of the sandwich, why don't we? But this time we're gonna change it up. This time we're gonna try their 2nd Avenue brand mustard and see if this adds any flavor dimension.
Did you sniff the bar?
Okay, we're not gonna cover the whole sandwich in the mustard, just in case we prefer it without, so that at least on the edges we have some non-mustard parts. All right, let's see if the mustard offers any change up at all. Okay, so I can see why at this place the mustard is more optional. I actually think this place is very similar to Sarge's Deli, where that also utilized a thin sliced pastrami, and the pastrami was also more chewy but great flavor, and you know, great flavors stacked on top of each other, like kind of concept. This place, I don't know, something about the way the pastrami is, like the mustard flavor, you can't really taste it. Like it kind of gets covered up a little bit. So, I mean, you really gotta add a lot, I guess, if you want some mustard flavor, but I really don't think it needs it. Mustard here, really completely optional. So don't worry about it unless you're a mustard fanatic, because then you're gonna have to add a lot to really taste it. But guys, I think that's gonna be it for this video. I know the reputation of this place precedes it, but it lived up to all the hype for me and more. It was outstanding. I would say that it definitely belongs in the conversation as Katz's. Like Katz's might have all that hype and all that tourist appeal, you know, like hour, 2-hour lines. This place, you know, it doesn't have a line out the door around the corner, but I would say the food is definitely on par. It's pretty good. Now, as for which of them I prefer, Katz's or 2nd Avenue Deli, for me, I would say I still prefer Katz's at the end of the day. Like, I still like the pastrami that's thicker cut. I like the show associated. I like that they cut it and slice it. And I like that it's like fattier and it melts in your mouth more and it really disintegrates easily. So if I had to pick one, it would be Katz's. But I will say this, with Katz's, it might be good, but you're definitely paying for it. And not just paying with money, you're paying with your time. Unless you go for breakfast. Like for breakfast, there's no line, but pastrami for breakfast, I don't mind that, but even for me, that's a little intense. But if you want your best bang for your buck, 2nd Ave is the way to go. I was able to just walk right in and unannounced and just sit right at the bar, like here, you know, completely unimpeded. So I would say based on objective taste, in my opinion, I'm gonna go Katz's, but when it comes to everything else combined, all other factors, it's hard to beat 2nd Avenue Deli. But anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you like my vids. As much as I love this pastrami sandwich and can't wait to devour this, I am not gonna, you know, let this Mozball soup become a leftover. I am gonna mop this up. So Let's eat this while it's still fresh and relatively warm. What's your favorite pastrami sandwich or Jewish deli in NYC or in the world? You know, anywhere in the world. Canada, North America, Europe, Japan, I don't know, whatever. Let me know in the comments because great minds eat alike. If you like my videos, make sure you like and subscribe. That way you stay up to date whenever I post another video. Until next time, I'll see you later.